equity and finance. And back with us today is our good friend Mario Ineko from the Mineko64 YouTube channel. Mario, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, Elijah, and nice to be speaking with you again.
It's great to have you. And what I wanted to first discuss is the European sovereign debt crisis. It seems like, we're hearing more about this recently, and you're saying actually it's probable that this could really all come together. The European sovereign debt crisis could really happen this summer. So, just within the next couple months. Can you unpack for our viewers how this is going to unfold in your view, and how it might impact, first, everyone living in Europe?
Yes, we had the sovereign debt crisis originally in Europe in 2011, 2012, with Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. They had to be basically bailed out by the central bank with loads of QE. Mario Draghi said, we'll do whatever it takes. So they just kicked the can down the road. At the time, the Greek 10-year yields went up to 40%, Italian 7.5%. The Spanish as well. Portuguese might have gone up into double digits. They put things back. They put a Band-Aid on everything. They printed loads of money. And they promised to do everything. And now, though, with the ECB saying they're going to start raising rates in July, we saw a couple of weeks ago yields in Italy, Greece, and other countries, like in the periphery, so to speak, start rising very sharply. And then the ECB had to come out. Some of the ECB officials, they even called an emergency meeting. And they said, we're going to do whatever it takes again as well to help these other countries, despite the fact that we're supposed to be raising rates. It's a huge mess. So they've calmed things down right now. So it doesn't look like there will be a crisis. But I think there will be. There will be something that will trigger it, in my opinion. I don't know what. But you can't keep things under the carpet, so to speak, for that long. And they didn't fix anything. If anything, the amount of debt that these countries have, their governments, is a lot bigger than in 2011, 2012. And as an aside, I just saw a tweet about one of the too big to fail banks in Europe. It's not in the EU, not part of the Eurozone. It's Credit Suisse. Their credit default swap rates have gone through the roof, which is a bad sign. But with the too big to fail banks, if you have one collapse, a lot of other ones could do the same. And some of the big Italian, French, and German banks are too big to fail. So that could be something to keep an eye on. But it looks for now that they're being able to keep yields under control, but they had to come out because it was getting out of control. The only way I think I can see them stopping it is to start QE again and buy all these bonds. But that would trash the euro in terms of purchasing power. Not that it's not already being trashed by rising prices.
It does seem like we are seeing a downturn in the value of the euro, not to mention as well the increase in prices we're seeing in Europe. I know here in the U.S., that's what we're seeing as well, the record high inflation. But your take on how the decrease in the value of the euro compared to other currencies is playing into all this?
Yeah, the euro could go and test the 1 level against the dollar. That's relatively low compared to what it was, I think, before the 2007 crisis. The euro got up to as much as 160, I think. But also when the euro was created, I remember it trading below 1 to the dollar. I think the low was around 88 cents or 90 cents. So it wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility. But I think all you're going to see is more and more higher commodity prices. Not just in dollars, but in euros as well. And that's what I partly mean by the euro losing a lot of value. I spoke about President Putin. He made a speech last week, and he called the Western currencies like a mythical things, that has created unbacked debt, he called it. It's not real things. So I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe the euro won't drop too much. It might drop to 102, 103 against the dollar. I think what's going to happen, though, we're going to see commodities make another leg up, not just for the euro, but for the dollar as well. And that's how they're going to devalue their currencies, because it's very hard to devalue fiat currencies against each other because the different entities compete. If the euro drops too much, then the Fed will probably try to do something to get the dollar to move down. So it's like a zero-sum game. The only way, really, for the whole West to devalue is against commodities, I would say.
Now, when it comes to how the euro sovereign debt crisis could impact Americans, what is your take on how the crisis could really flow through the system?
It could affect the financial system very badly because everything is so interconnected these days. You could have American banks that have invested in these government debt markets in Europe. And yes, it could reverberate throughout the world, pretty much like, the Asian crisis in 97, 98. That spread throughout Asia. It could be the same thing with a European sovereign debt crisis. It could spread not just in Europe, but to the U.S. as well.
And you mentioned the decrease in the value of currencies having an impact